Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 5 of Let's Build Allure Hills with me, Blue Spirit. In this episode today we are going to work on a restaurant for Mysteria, as Brit mentioned in the previous episode. It's going to be a loose inspiration, or actually a loose copy of the original Explorer Club in the Mystic Point in Disneyland Hong Kong. But with some minor changes, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So let's go to the time lapse, and we'll see how it got built. Okay, so welcome to the time lapse in which we are going to work on the exterior of the restaurant. But before we start that, I wanted to quickly mention that I changed some audio settings. So my voice, if you can hear it, is a little bit smoother, a little bit more bass behind it. So in my opinion, it's a lot better. But if you have any opinion about it or anything, let me know. So I might change it again. Anyway, what you see me building or doing actually right now, because I'm not really building anything, it's just reshaping the infrastructure around the area. When I was looking at it, I wasn't really too happy with how it looked, and I had some ideas in it which really would turn out differently, but it also had to do with the fact that I changed the orientation and the idea behind how the building should look overall. So because I changed that, the infrastructure around it changed as well. So and the reason I changed the orientation and the scale of the building as a whole is because I wasn't really happy with how it looked. It was a little bit too big for my taste. It was a bit out of scale in a sense, so I changed it a little bit, and it looks much better now. And the style that it's in also fits a lot better with the scale of the whole park as a whole so far. So that's why I did that. That's why I changed it a little bit, and you'll see me in the video go on and off with the infrastructure and the general layout of everything. So it's going to change a little bit more during this video. So just a quick heads up that this isn't by far the final look of the infrastructure. So just beware of that. Here, I changed it again. Anyway, what I basically decided to do with the area as a whole is that I wanted to try and make it as close as possible to the real thing, because I think the layout in the original park, or Disneyland Hong Kong that is, looks really good, and I just wanted to capture that feel, and especially with the foliage around it and the way they light the whole building and stuff at night. It looks really good, and I wanted to feel that and catch that as much as possible. So you'll see me do that. And talking about that, I got some comments on Shy Guys World on YouTube and on personal level that, and this is an idea I had on my own as well, is that the recent builds that I did, or actually I did so far in the series and in the park, is mostly a recreation or stuff from real buildings or things. And I get it that it's a little bit easy for me to recreate something and not really come up with something on my own, but that is going to change, because in the areas I want to build as well in the park in the future, I really want to try and get more of my own idea behind it, and start building stuff which which can be found in real life, but also has a little bit more of my own ideas and stuff behind it, which is a little bit weird to explain, because most of the stuff I did is not completely the same, and it isn't complete recreation or anything, but I got what they were saying, like you need to come up with something of your own, and so that's going to happen, definitely, more in the future, of course. But first I wanted to finish the area I'm working on right now, and before we start heading to watch something else, to do something else. For example, and like I said, a lot of things that I already built, I'm still building right now in the areas we have. there are lots of touches of mine in there as well. For example, this interior I'm working on right now, which we aren't going to finish or anything in this video, is of course it's a little bit based on the real thing, but for me it was very hard to find actual pictures, so that's when I need to come up with something of my own. And you will see that, of course, with the dark rides and the rides so far, that even though they are loose inspirations of or recreations of stuff in real life, they are very, very much my own. And I just wanted to say that. And if you are looking forward to seeing me build something original, stuff like that, it will definitely come in the future. So just so you know. What I'm doing right now, perfect timing actually. What I'm doing right now is start working on the interior for the the interior for the gift shop. So damn. For the interior for the gift shop, and I won't, like I said a second ago, I won't finish this episode. We are going to take a whole episode or stuff for the interior of these buildings. I just wanted to make a quick start with this video. I need to say a little bit less. Anyway, there I go again. Now, I'm going to start working on the interior right now. Like I said, we won't finish it, but we make a quick start. And what I noticed when I was looking at the gift shop from Mystic Manor, but also some more gift shops from different parks, that they have a little technique that basically forces people to go through the entire gift shop before leaving the building or leaving the ride. So that's something I want to try as well. And so that's what I'm doing right now, basically making the interior. So you basically come in and have an entire gift shop in front of you, and you walk by the counter, so you just have to buy something or anything. That's a really neat idea, and it's something that I never noticed before I looked into this. And that's also a fun thing when you're recreating something or looking into it with a closer eye, that these little techniques or ideas behind it are way cooler than you originally thought. And so yeah, that's something I really like when I do these kinds of things. And it's just a little bit nicer. Anyway, just as with the interior we built a few episodes ago, the bar and cafe, this isn't really functional. So you'll see me placing some gift shop right now. Actually, I didn't notice it was that close. Anyway, you see me building some gift shops right now, and those are the actual shops. But I wanted to make an entire interior around it, and so it would look a little bit better, in my opinion. And I'm really hoping Frontier someday releases like a version of the counters we had in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. I thought they came with an expansion pack or something, or maybe they were custom scenery. I don't know, but they were basically like just the counter and no theming or building around it. So you could really, especially with more scenery coming in that age of the game, you were really able to start making your own gift shops and entire buildings around it, and it was really nice to actually do. So I really hope they add it. So if you're listening, Frontier, please do. Although I doubt they are watching this. Anyway, I'm sure many other people will address it as well, because interiors are really fun to build, and I know a lot of people want to do, but they are kind of hesitant, but because there aren't that much items, and the skill of everything is a little bit iffy. So I know that a lot of people want to build it, but are a bit hesitant to do so. So if they add such options or fix the skill or something, which I highly doubt, maybe more people will get into it, and we will see more things popping up. So I decided, because at first I really wanted to go in and do this episode with an entire episode of, again, a interior, but I noticed that simply wasn't going to work for me, because I had very little inspiration for it, and I had some more inspiration for like the exterior of it. So that's what I'm working on some more right now, and this is going to be a fun little thing, because here is a little mistake I made. And because the patio or the gallery, or however you want to call it, in front of this actual building, it's a little bit simple and a real thing, and it has some nice details and touches, but I wanted to keep it really simple. And in doing so, I thought, okay, well, this is nice, I can add that, it's really simple, it's not that hard, just some pillars, I noticed that the things I build, and you'll see me changing it, or trying to change it right now, is that it isn't perfectly aligned, and my OCD was freaking out, because I'm really that guy that wants it perfectly aligned for some reason, and I sometimes hate myself for doing that, for being the perfectionist, but it tends to work out for me anyway. So this is something where I broke my rule for being it perfect, that it should look perfect. It looks great, but you will notice here and there that there are some bigger gaps between the fences and stuff like that. So I went in and tried to fix it, and I was like, okay, I give up, this game wins. And even the 3D gizmo wasn't really working with me, because every time I wanted to change the orientation, it just wasn't working for me, and it had different angles and stuff like that. So I was like, oh my god, why are you doing this to me? But yeah, it's just I gave up, and I thought, okay, well then it isn't perfect, and so it still looks good, and I'm happy with it, even though it's a slight error in it, but it isn't really noticeable or anything. So it will do, and it's just a little thing that I really dislike about it. But anyway, so I started working because I thought like, okay, I can do the entire roof of everything, but I thought, okay, well, let's finish the walls, etc. Before doing the roofs. So I started working on the entrance gate to the restaurant, right now. And if you ever looked up or ever been to Disneyland Hong Kong, actually, you might notice that this is a very detailed entrance, in the sense that it has lots of small details, which are very hard to do actually in game, because it's had lots of layers and stuff like that, and small little details and ornaments and stuff, which aren't really in the game. So it was a bit hard, especially around the logo of the restaurant. It was a bit hard to recreate. Oh, and if you're starting to hear some noise in the background, that's basically a lawnmower. Some of my neighbors decided to actually do that or anything. So, and the birds are freaking out right now. So if you hear that, I'm sorry for that. I couldn't really change it. Sorry. Maybe you do. Maybe you hear nothing. I don't know. Anyway, back to the time lapse. I'm really freaking out. Okay. Anyway, so it was a bit hard to make all the details, but I think in the end it looks really good, and especially at night with the lighting, it turned out great. And oh yeah, you'll see that in at the end of the video, I guess. But yeah, it turned out great. That being said, and I really don't know if I mentioned it already, or it was in a previous recording which failed, I decided to cut a lot of this time-lapse part, because it was way too long, and it was way because, for example, the pillars that were offset a bit, they were a bit there was something I really wanted to fix, but I did that while recording, and when I was looking back at the recording, I was like, nobody wants to see this. So I basically cut that, and that resulted in a like 25 minutes time lapse instead of a 45-minute time lapse. So so it's much better, and I spend most of the time actually fixing all the things that I wasn't happy with, and or sorry, or at least trying to do the best thing I could, and but most of that was all the same, and stuff like that. For example, the roofs, you will see me building in like a few minutes or something. You will see me building the roofs, and I was like, okay, I can record everything while I was doing it. But when I was looking back at it, I thought, okay, this is more of the same, and it isn't really special anymore, and people get the idea behind how it did those roofs, so why add it? But yeah, so if you want to see me, and I was quite slow because of course a 45-minute time lapse, you have to imagine that I sped up this time lapse around 10 times, so you have to imagine 45 minutes. Yeah, you get the idea. It was a lot of time that went into that, and I was like, that is not interesting at all. So sorry, but yeah, okay. But that's, like I said, that's basically all that's going on. I'm going to start on roofs and fixing up the patio and stuff like that, finishing up the entrance gate and more like that in the coming minutes of the time lapse. And that's not, well, it's pretty much self-explanatory, and I don't want to say too much about it because yeah, well, it's self-explanatory. So I will see you at the end of this video, or at the end of the time lapse. I'm not really sure. But if you have, so I'll see you then. If anything interesting pops up or anything, I will be sure to pop in and give some commentary on that. But I don't think that's going to happen. So if I'm not going to speak to you in this time lapse, I will see you at the end of the video, and I hope you like it. So what I did a second ago was just doing some lighting for this area. It's very close to the real thing. It's not much special. It's just like some basic street lights and a little bit more stuff around it or anything. It's not much actually, but something interesting which is happening right now actually. It's I'm doing some work on the roof, and though it's not that fancy or anything, it's not really that like really fancy roof or anything. It's just not with tiles or anything. It's just some wooden planks around it just to cover it up, and it's not really much it. But the real building has some details around it, and I really wanted to get as close as possible with it. And I think these wooden planks or beams, or however they are called in this game, really get close to it, because if you haven't, or if they have this tiny little gap between them, which make it look like something pulls out through or there or something. I don't really know how to explain it, but for me it looks very much to the real thing, and that's what I really liked about it. So yeah, that's why this is. You saw me building or starting with the roof, and it looks different right now, and that's, like I said, a little bit of things I cut in this video, mostly because it isn't really that interesting seeing me do that. So yeah, that's basically why I did that. And you know, the general idea behind it is just that whenever I'm doing something twice or even 3 times in a row, it's not that interesting to see. So and again, it's also a lot of trial and error for me, because it was a bit of a struggle here and there, like I mentioned, the pillars, but also with these roofs, to get them aligned and the way I wanted to look. I wanted them to look, so it was a bit difficult to get them the exact way I wanted to, but yeah, I think it looks great in the end. So yeah, if you wanted to see the entire thing, well, I'm sorry. Maybe next time, or maybe even when I'm doing the time lapse. I don't know. I wanted to do it, but I think my internet doesn't like me that much when I'm trying to do it, because I don't know. So maybe in the future or anything, you will see me doing that. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Anyway, we're nearing the end of the time lapse, and I have not much else to say actually. So I want to thank you all so much for watching this episode with me. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like or even comment on this video if you have any questions or anything. And also to catch up with all the videos I have made so far and going to make in the future, be sure to subscribe to my channel to catch everything when it drops. Also follow me on Twitter to catch all the latest news, some previews, or even some information concerning the next episode or anything, even if it's delayed or something. And you can always reach me over there for your questions or anything, or just want to say hi. So yeah, that's basically it for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye bye.